Everyone, it is 9 a.m. Thanks for clicking on WGRZ Plus, and for our Daybreak Plus, our streaming newscast, we see bright, shiny things in here, and I was just admiring one of the monitors that is...
No, it's really a Monet.
It's a Monet.
Yeah. There's a painting in the monitor.
There are several paintings that keep flashing, and I'm like, why do we have Monets in the studio now?
Hey, we're a fancy operation here. Only fine art makes the wall.
Right.
Or a screensaver, which is what that is.
It's a screensaver.
So we've got a beautiful day today. Today may be the best day of the week.
The sun is shining, but it's cold out right now.
It's cold, yeah. It was in the 30s this morning. Yeah. We raced to the 70s, but then storminess tomorrow.
Yeah, you're talking potentially severe storms.
Yeah, strong to severe tomorrow. The threat is there. So we'll dive into that.
Let's talk about that.
Sure.
Thanks.
70s today, tomorrow, mid to upper 70s. A chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms, which could be strong to severe, and then sharply cooler on Wednesday as numbers come back down to earth. We slice 20 degrees or so off that number, more so, with cooler numbers on Wednesday. Behind that front, which is going to cause the storm. So clearly it's a strong one. There are some passing clouds out there. We're going to see a mostly sunny sky today. This is the area that we're watching. Severe weather is expected in Minnesota and Iowa today. Some of that severe weather will head our way tomorrow, and I'll show that to you on Future Look. We do have a severe thunderstorm outlook issued by the Storms Prediction Center. 5 levels of alertness, okay? They kind of increase as we go to high. High is rare. But we're in an enhanced threat level, which is 3 out of 5. So when you're in the color yellow, it gets your attention. The orange for enhanced, it's really a heads up that the likelihood is really there for strong to severe storms that could cause some very heavy rain, hail, gusty winds. And there's even a small chance of a tornado, a small little spin up with this kind of a setup, something we're going to watch. All right, Future Look shows the quiet conditions today under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, clear early, but then the clouds increase. Now for tomorrow, clouds increasing, can't rule out a shower in the morning, but a better chance of showers and thunderstorms, as you can see here in the afternoon and evening. This line here, and there could be one right before it, could cause some of that severe weather potential, with the damaging winds being the main threat. Behind it, it clears out, the winds switch directions, and it gets a lot cooler, it looks like, for Wednesday. Okay, so there we go. So for today, 60s along the shoreline, low to mid 70s elsewhere. Tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures even warmer, mid to upper 70s, with the chance of a thunderstorm. Well, it's a high chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, much cooler, temperatures only in the 50s, okay? Then after that, we go from cool on Wednesday to damp Thursday and Friday. A weather impact alert has been issued for tomorrow due to that threat of strong to maybe severe thunderstorms. Cooler temperatures on Wednesday. Thursday, 70, but rain develops. Showers, it looks like, into Friday. Even maybe Saturday, it'll be cooler for the weekend. This weekend coming up looks like it'll resemble last weekend, where you had the clouds and the cool on Saturday, a little more sunshine on Sunday, but still right around 60 degrees. So the most active day and the warmest day will be tomorrow, but I think the best day will be today, and the weekend kind of May starts out a little gloomy Thursday into Friday.
So there will be usable time tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And the timing of the storms, does it seem to be after the evening commute, or could this all be happening during the evening commute?
You got to kind of see, in severe weather setups, you got to see how it evolves. Right.
It's not fair to ask you to pinpoint an exact half hour that these storms are going to be rolling through.
Some things you can, but
be more of like the utility guy, where I'll be there sometime between 4 and 8 p.m.
I love that. Oh. Yeah, some utilities, the window's like 8 hours.
Yes.
Am I supposed to sit here?
Right.
The afternoon and evening's a pretty good threshold, but that window could be like 4 to 8.
Right. And so with kids with after school practices and stuff, they're going to need to be sky aware and
100%.
Make sure that you've got the kids close to being able to come inside, because the winds could bring down trees, power lines, a whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's going to be an active day, and we'll have a better handle on it in our forecast updates tonight. But yeah, the most active day of the season so far.
Yeah, be sure to tune into Daybreak tomorrow for the more specific window.
Yes.
Okay, Patrick, thank you. We got a lot of news happening since Daybreak. We now know the date for the conclave to elect the next pope. We now know it's going to begin on May 7th. A senior source with the Vatican says the date was decided during a closed-door meeting of cardinals. About 130 cardinals are eligible to take part in the conclave, many of whom became cardinals because of Pope Francis. The previous 2 conclaves lasted just 2 days, but there's no set amount of time before that white smoke is seen coming from the Vatican and from St. Peter's Basilica. So stay with us. Again, we now know the conclave is set to begin May 7th. Also new since Daybreak, Russian President Vladimir Putin is declaring a temporary ceasefire in Ukraine, but it's only going to last a few days as Russia plans to mark 80 years since the end of the Second World War in the early part of May. And this comes as President Donald Trump continues to push for a permanent ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. And some local news that we continue to follow. We now know that the Buffalo School Board is going to be holding a special meeting this afternoon. They abruptly scheduled that meeting last night in order to deal with the fallout of disturbing allegations against the district. Now, the allegations were made on a national podcast called Unsubscribe, and it has had more than 500,000 views in just a couple days. In it, Buffalo Police Department Special Victims Unit Officer Richard High alleged a cover-up of multiple cases of child abuse and sex abuse within the district. Officer High said that he knows he's risking a lot by blowing the whistle on his department, but he said the truth needed to be told. And he said the district is not reporting or covering up the abuse to keep the numbers low and keep federal funding. The school district is denying the allegations, but says it will look into them. The police union is backing High, but he himself has a rocky past in the police department. So we will be following that meeting when that happens at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Also in the news this morning, the West Seneca Police Department is warning about a game that could lead to some misunderstandings. West Seneca police say they received a call about teenagers in a car with a gun, but it turned out to just be a water gun, and it's all part of a game called Senior Assassin. The game involves schools' seniors having to eliminate each other with the goal of being the last person standing. Well, in a post on social media, West Seneca police said they want the game to be able to continue, but they just want everyone to be safe. So they laid out some precautions for students to take to avoid any misunderstandings. I hadn't heard about this game, Patrick, but apparently it's really popular, and it's a tradition in a lot of school districts that go back decades. I was reading some of the comments, and the parents kind of love it because the kids are playing outside and they're interacting with each other and not on their phones and their tablets. And when it gets down to the Final Four, like lots of people are involved in seeing their student win. And parents said that they love collaborating with the kids, and they use some people in pranks, and so it sounds like it can be fun. But yeah, use bright colored squirt guns instead of any squirt guns that could be black.
My daughter's
and
a senior, and she came to me yesterday, Dad, do you know where the water guns are? And I was like, okay, it's like 50.
Dingus Day is over.
Yeah, and then she says, I just need it. And then she's texting, or she's talking about the Senior Assassin Day and where she's going to find this.
And she's not in West Seneca.
No, she's in Hamburg, but they're doing it there too. And it sounds like it's kind of fun, but I had never heard of this.
You hadn't either?
No, until I started hearing her talk about it yesterday.
Yeah, and so she's going.
So when is it today?
So apparently it lasts several days.
Okay.
And when I was reading the comments in the West Seneca police Facebook post, some people were saying that it can last days. And in order to, you're assigned someone and you need to, shoot that person with a squirt gun.
Right.
But it can't be during school, and it's got to be off hours and not on school grounds. And so there are a lot of rules. And apparently the kids can pay like $5 and there's a big jackpot for the winner.
Okay.
And so, and when I went to Sweet Home, it was like senior prank day. There was a senior prank.
Senior
which I was
kidnap day.
I was so good. I was such a goodie. I've got to stay away from the senior prank because I can't get in trouble. So you had skip day?
No, well, it was kidnap day where we all, I got dressed in a tutu, and then we took a tour of some. We went to Golden Gate Park or something in San Francisco. Blah blah blah. But I mean, it was a thing. It was a thing. It was a tradition. It was something that seniors had done for years and years and years. So this kind of seems like it's on the same vein.
Right. They're just asking everyone to do it safely. Have the fun. Don't take it away. Don't make them not do it, but just do it safely so people don't get scared. And, the burbs. So.
Absolutely.
All right, this past weekend was Recruit New York weekend for firefighters. It's a statewide effort to get more people to get signed up to be volunteer firefighters. And along that line, I had the honor this past weekend of recognizing the men and women of the North Bailey Volunteer Fire Company in Amherst. They had their installation banquet. I MC it every year because I'm very close with North Bailey.
And where's Warren?
Warren's not here. Warren's in Florida. But these two gentlemen, I want to tell you about them.
Warren's her father.
Yes, Warren is my dad. He is a lifelong firefighter at North Bailey. I'm the proud daughter of Warren and growing up in the fire service. I have a deep appreciation for all that these volunteers do. But on the left of me right there is Al Hummer, and on the right, that's Sam Lunetta. They both celebrated their 50th anniversary of active firefighters. So they were recognized. 50 years of active service.
That's amazing.
And Al had his pin put on him by his daughter, Allison, who has served in North Bailey for 36 years.
Oh my gosh.
It's so, if you know volunteer firefighters, you know it is a very family-oriented volunteer service. And so, yeah, Allison followed in her dad's footsteps. So many lines of families in the departments. And so North Bailey firefighting family is so close. And so it was very nice for me to be there and to celebrate their accomplishments. But it is hard to get volunteer firefighters nowadays. The requirements are so different than what they used to be 50 years ago with the trainings and the drills and the meetings and the requirements for CPR and all of that. You're dedicating dozens of hours each week to be a volunteer. It's a lot of work, but it is certainly worth it to be there to save your neighbor if need be. So volunteers are just salt of the earth. They're amazing.
Yeah, that's great. And it's cool that you get to do it every year. And
I think when you moved here, you were surprised that volunteer firefighters really protect most of Western New York. There's paid departments in Buffalo and North Tonawanda and the cities.
Places that I've lived,
Niagara Falls. But in the burbs, it's volunteers who are protecting you.
Yeah, there's one just down the street from us. And they've come into our neighborhood to do some service calls all the time, and they're great.
Yeah.
So
thanks to all of the volunteers, and think about volunteering and get some information during this Recruit New York week.
Yes.
Stay with us. We will talk bills and draft right after the break. Bills were very active over the weekend, getting their draft class together. And take a look at all of this. You can see there's a huge emphasis on the defense this year. They're marked in blue here. Offense is in red. And General Manager Brandon Bean says it's not really how they planned it, but they really do stand by the decisions they made.
It truly sometimes is where it is when you're drafting, or you're like, man, I really like this guy. He could help us. Let's go up and get him. We did that a couple of times. But, you're always going to leave a draft and somebody's going to say, well, why didn't you address this? I couldn't have told you guys quite candidly that we weren't going to draft a receiver until the last pick. There were guys we had on the board, but when we picked, we just took the best player, the highest value that we had graded. Right or wrong, that's how we do all our work, and it makes it easy.
What do you think?
I like the fact that we beefed up the defense. It needed some holes filled. We got some big guys. Some of these defensive tackles, there's one gentleman, 6'7", 330 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, these are massive humans.
Yes.
So I like that, we didn't necessarily go for the flashy wide receiver or whatever. We got
the very last pick of the draft.
Right, we got one. But I like the fact that we needed a corner desperately. We, have some depth at the offensive line, and we also got some defensive line edge rushers too. So it seems like it was a pretty good draft.
Sure, and overall, I think the Bills were. I was checking out some of the ratings. The grades.
What were the grades that you saw?
There was a B-. There was a B. There was an A- with one of the ones that I was looking at ESPN and Sports Illustrated and NFL Network and stuff. And obviously the NFL Network will grade everybody really high because they want everyone to think that their team is great. But ESPN, I think, gave them like a B-.
Huh, I wonder why.
Yeah,
huh.
It's fine. So
we'll
see.
I think a lot of these guys could potentially even start, especially our number 1 pick, Max. Maybe he's a starter. He's going to get to learn under Trey White, so that can't be a bad thing.
And a big shout out to Sean Dolak from UB.
Yes.
He's a West Seneca native.
Rams.
And he is going to the Rams. He is an undrafted free agent, and so we are so happy for him. He's an All-American here in Buffalo, and everyone knows about him here, but hopefully he will make the team and make us proud out in LA.
Absolutely.
All right, you are going to talk more weather, and then we want to talk about some draft controversies coming up, and about that prank with Shedeur Sanders.
That was terrible.
And the developments out of that.
Yeah, okay. Here's what to expect in the coming days. Sunny and beautiful today. There will be some scrappy clouds moving through, especially this morning. But it's going to be nice. For tomorrow, thunderstorms, some could be strong to severe later in the day, as we mentioned. Close to 80 degrees tomorrow with a breeze and the late day storms, and then mid-50s on Wednesday. So clearly a strong cold front. That's going to cool things off pretty dramatically. There are just some of the passing clouds right now. We're watching this system here that is going to be a severe weather maker for the upper Midwest today. The front associated with it will get here tomorrow and trigger some showers and thunderstorms. Let's go through this again. Today looks fine with temperatures, again, into the low 70s, 60s along the shoreline. There you can see some of the showers approaching, and then there will be a line of thunderstorms, we think, developing. There we go. Later in the day into the evening, and some of these could be strong to severe with the heavy rain potential, some localized damaging winds potentially, some hail. Might even get a little small tornado spin up too. So this is something we're watching. And then drier weather, it appears, for Wednesday, but a whole lot cooler. Sunny skies today, 65 along the shoreline, 72 to 74 inland. Partly cloudy tonight, mid-50s. A weather impact alert for today. For tomorrow, not today. Today's fine. It's for tomorrow in the afternoon and evening. Wednesday, cooler. There you go. Thursday, we're back to 70, but it does get wet with periods of rain later Thursday, Friday as well. And then for the weekend, the first weekend in May 3rd and 4th, we're in the 50s on Saturday, close to 60 on Sunday. Sunday seems to be the better day of the weekend, kind of like what we had this past weekend, where it was just gloomy on Saturday. Yesterday was a little
Saturday was awful. Elliot had a golf tournament, and it was, rainy and windy. And then yesterday, he had another golf tournament. The sun was nice, but it was
a little on the brisk side.
It was cold. The wind made it feel pretty cold.
Yeah.
So.
We were touring UB on Saturday, and yes, it was kind of like cloudy, and as we're entering, there's like a sideways rain. It got a little bit better, but when you're walking and learning about a campus, I mean,
welcome to
I know,
this is what it's going to be.
A lot of international students coming. It's like, okay, it's not like this.
Right.
But,
all these new Bills players who are coming for the first time.
A lot of them came for their 30 meetings.
Yeah.
It was like we had of course, the late season snow, and it's like, okay.
There are a lot of other things to love about Buffalo. The weather might not be one of them. And speaking of the Bills, rumor has it that they are going to have new uniforms this year. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, the NFL is partnering with Nike to introduce rivalries, which promise new uniforms and fan gear that are inspired by the team's community. So what does this mean? We don't really know, but the goal is to elevate rivalry games during the next 4 years. And the AFC East and the NFC West teams will be the first teams to feature these new uniforms. The color scheme, though, and the helmet design is really unknown at this point. I mean, rumors were circulating that they might bring back the uniforms of the 90s that like Jim Kelly was wearing. To kind of celebrate the end of the end of the stadium.
Okay.
And like have the stadium go out by celebrating the team's heyday. But I don't know what these I haven't seen any images.
But if it's a division, is that like your rivalry against Miami or because that's probably the biggest rivalry.
Right.
Or maybe it's New England.
I mean, it used to be New England. It's not anymore.
Right.
But Yeah. So
But that's cool.
Yeah. So we will let you know if we see any images. We will share them with you. But
Yes.
the controversy that we were talking about, this made me so sad
I
when
know,
I
because
saw
I
it.
heard the prank call. Did you hear
Yeah,
it?
I heard it, and we'll have you listen to it. So what we're talking about is during the draft weekend, quarterback Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, he was expected to be drafted in the first round, potentially in the top 10, like at number 3. But that didn't happen. And during the second round of the draft on Friday, as he's waiting for his name to be called, Sanders got a call shortly before the New Orleans Saints number 40 pick. It turned out to be a prank, though. Take a listen.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be legendary.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
What does that mean? What? What did he say? I don't know. How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone? You heard that?
He said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, he completely didn't understand what they meant by you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But now, here's the bombshell out of all of this. One of the pranksters there, not the one on the phone, but in the room, is the son of the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. His name is Jax Ulbrich, and he released a statement that reads in part, Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. Apparently he did call him and on the phone and make an actual apology.
There's video. They videoed themselves doing this.
Right.
It's just such.
So that's a side by side. You're putting the two sides of the phone call together. But yeah, Shedeur's friends were videoing what should have been one of the happiest moments of his life, getting a call saying you're being drafted. Then these kids are videoing themselves making an awful prank phone call. And it turns out, how did they get the phone number?
Right.
It was the defensive coordinator's laptop was open, and the son saw the phone number and wrote the phone number down and called him. As a mom, I'm just so angry about this whole thing. And these kids, how are they? They should be held responsible. I don't know. It's just awful to take away from this guy's moment. And then, by the way, Sanders wasn't even taken in that round.
No.
Fell all the way down to pick 144, which was the 5th round. He was picked by the Cleveland Browns. A lot of prank calls, though, in the draft, including the Bills' 6th round pick, Chase Lunt. He said, he's an offensive tackle. He said during his introductory news conference that he was pranked 4 or 5 times during the draft.
You're kidding. Well, they all get a new phone.
A draft
right?
phone.
A draft phone that should only be available to
and when you get that call,
managers of NFL football teams and you
right.
and your agent, let's say. But yeah, I mean, that I felt so bad for. I know his draft experience was controversial anyway.
Right.
But to have that happen.
No one deserves that. No one deserves that.
Kids do pranks. I get it. But that was just low class.
And I hope in the long run he turns out really well for the Cleveland Browns and can prove that at least make the team and just do something positive and show that he maybe should have been picked higher. But you know, a lot of people wondering whether he was just, you know, thought of so highly because of his dad. But we shall see. And I guess that's it. Again, tune into Daybreak tomorrow. And tonight, I'm sure that Jen and Dan will have a lot of coverage of the severe weather. That's going to be a big talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be our theme. And, you know, we're kind of seeing new data come in, but it could be an active day. We get severe weather around here, a couple of episodes every year. And this might be the first. Well, we had some a week ago, but this will be a little bit more widespread.
Okay, so stay with us, everyone, especially on WGRZ.com. We'll have lots of updates as well. Have a great day.